Right, ladies, thank you for coming. I know the weather's not on our side and there are a lot of illnesses, but I do want to try and help you get the best from this session. Now, can you see me through there? I've been a PT now since 2015, and I set up Imperial Bodies to help women get confident in the gym, foremost, and end the nasty cycle of constantly dieting and attempting to lose weight and shrink themselves, okay? Now, I also used to be one of those women who would not eat all day, starve themselves before a night out, and fell for pretty much every diet. Once I got into lifting, I then became obsessed with counting calories, tracking macros, eating chicken and broccoli out of fucking Tupperware, driving myself insane. And I knew there would be a better way. And I did find it, and now I have got what people refer to as balance. So I can still enjoy my life and enjoy a drink and a takeaway and chocolate and sweets, but I can do it in a way where I'm still not putting on the weight. I don't punish myself with exercise, and there's no need for you guys to do that either. So I made it kind of my mission to try and give women the best information to help themselves get out of the struggle and learn the best way to lose weight, feel good about themselves, feel confident, and not be stuck on what the scales say. And as I've spoken about the scales, you all have the option to stand on them today to get an insight into where you are at and maybe what you can do to change what it says. Any questions from that? No? I'm also a qualified nutritionist. That doesn't just mean I've done a simple tick box exercise. I've done several qualifications over the years. So I'm recognised under the Royal Society of Public Health. Not that it means anything, but I'm not somebody that's just going to give generic meal plans which doesn't fit into somebody's life. Now, I'm not a dietitian, so that means I can't prescribe certain meal plans and tell you what you can and can't eat. What I do is I base it on the food you currently eat, and I assess to see if you are lacking in any nutrients and teach you ways that you can do it in a sensible way where you're not having to uproot your whole life. That is where we're going to kick off today. We're going to start with healthy, unhealthy, good, bad foods and the beliefs that you all hold because of what you've read, seen, followed. And again, there's thousands of diets out there. None of them are working. So hopefully this is a chance to kind of put to bed all that kind of information. Yeah? So in terms of, short and sweet of it is, unhealthy, healthy doesn't really exist. We need to think more along the lines of how much are we eating of certain foods. Okay? When it comes to good and bad foods, you all know that it's not really good for you if you eat chocolate all day long. Hopefully. Yeah? It's nice to have. It's enjoyable. Makes us feel good. But we can't just eat chocolate all day. So in terms of healthy and unhealthy, and under those I want you to think good, bad. Yeah? Most people would put broccoli, carrots, yeah? So we've got your fruit, veggies, meat, fish, and then unhealthy, crisps, chocolate, cheese, yeah? So we've got your cheese, chocolate, sweets, shout it all out, wine, Prosecco, the list would just go on and on and on, yeah? When it comes to what our body needs, yes, it's going to fall into what we consider to be healthy. When we're putting together meals, our body needs amino acids from meat, fish, lentils, okay, that's our proteins. Then we're going to need the nutrients from your veggies and your fruit. And then we may need a little bit of carbs, the sugars from pasta, potatoes, rice. But too much of any of that, you can still put on weight. Okay, so it all comes down to how much of certain foods are you eating. Now, one of the big diet foods would always be avocado, which is healthy, but could also be unhealthy because it has got a lot of calories in. So that's where we kind of break down quantity of what we're eating. How many calories are in the food that you're putting in your mouth in order to get through the day? Food is ultimately fuel for our bodies to do the things that we need to do in the day, and many of us starve ourselves all day long thinking that's going to be the right thing to do, and then we go home, have a healthy meal, maybe load up the plate with as many potatoes as you want because Weight Watchers said it was okay to do that, and rice and whatever your other endless list of food is, and then you're told to count your sins. Is that Slimming World?
Yeah.
Okay. When we spend a little bit of time learning what calories are in the foods that we eat, you quickly understand that it doesn't really matter. You can combine all these foods as part of your meal plan and it can still be healthy, as long as it's not doing it in a way where you're putting on too much weight. Yeah? Does all that make sense? Okay. This is the interactive part, okay? What I want you all to do is I want you to walk up to this sexy little table here and have a little look at the food packets that are on there. In each one of these packets is 100 calories. Okay? Don't be shy, come on.
Oh my God.
So feel free to pick them up.
I'll pack it then. Yeah, I know.
So you can pick them up and just have a little look, feel what's in there, feel the weight, because you will see there's some foods there that are healthy and unhealthy.
It's only missing about 2. That's about the size.
It is, I ate them. I had about 500 calories just eating the offcuts.
That's quite depressing, isn't it?
That's a Galaxy Whipple.
What's the point? I know.
You like them, don't you, Linda?
I do. You can keep your chocolate, but is that it?
Looking at all of them, and I nearly turned around and went, don't bother.
I'd still be starving,
Yeah, they are, yeah.
None of that's reachable, because I don't usually eat breakfast. I'll grab a packet of those and munch those in the car.
Which ones do you eat? The breakfast?
They'll eat these
Oh,
ones,
right, that's half a packet. There's 4 in a packet.
Yeah.
And the same
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many tubs have you gone through this Christmas? Try not to buy them. No, it's these.
If you want to take photos, this is all going to stay out, so if at any point you want to take a photo, you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a cup of tea and them in one go. You have a cup of tea and biscuits, you're not just getting
I
one
mean,
quarter biscuit.
is anybody honestly, when you open a packet of chocolate digestives, just having 1 or 2?
No. Let alone one of them.
Like, I can, if you're honest, half a packet, if not the whole packet, is gone.
And you don't even know you're doing it half the time.
I'm the exception then. I don't eat chocolate biscuits.
Okay.
It's got to be chocolates and nuts.
You wait for it. There's more to come, honestly. This is why sometimes it's good to do this.
You can't stop. Yeah. The advert says you're never ever going to eat that list.
That's not even a little mini tub.
I've just hopped that up there, is that alright?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So now you've seen that, and I've gone through healthy versus unhealthy. You were saying you eat the biscuits as a breakfast alternative. Which one do you think's got the most calories?
You say the squares, but I bet it's about these.
that one, but I'm thinking this one.
This one has got more calories. This one's actually got less calories. So this one, if you eat the whole bar, it's got 156 calories. There's 200 calories there. And yeah, I can pretty much guarantee every single woman will choose this as a breakfast bar and tell themselves this is bad and they shouldn't eat it. Yeah, it is marketing, absolutely, 100%, even down to your kids' cereals. Now, this is full of sugar, so it's probably not the best thing that you can give yourself, but so is this. Okay? A lot of other people as well Muesli and granola. How many of you have granola, healthy cereal? Okay, that is a serving. And that's got 270 calories in for a 50 gram bag. So you can pass, yep. This is like your Alpen.
I make my own granola, so I'll put in more
Still going to get calories, yeah.
Something else to put more in.
Now when I picked that up from Tesco's, because I don't eat this, and I won't go into that, but 216 calories for that serving that you've got in your hand, and I can guarantee most people would be pouring themselves about 150 grams worth at least, because you're just going to just pour it in. Nobody's weighing it. Yeah. So when you consider you're going to have 3 times the amount, you've had about 600 calories before you've added anything else to it. Yeah? So when you consider that, you'd be much better off having a couple of rashers of bacon and 2 slices of bread. You'd probably feel better for it as well. Okay? Maybe some egg and soldiers, scrambled eggs, beans on toast.
Yeah, but then I'll get done with butter. That's the issue I've got as well.
Yeah.
That's a slimming roll thing.
Again, there's nothing wrong. It's just how much are we putting on? Okay? Has anybody got any questions on that part so far? No?
Sometimes I'm thinking anything which has got a long shelf life as well is
Yeah.
going to have so much more in it.
Yeah.
This is processed.
Yeah. Obviously, it's always going to be better to eat something that we can grow, catch, kill, it flies, you know. But even down to nuts and seeds, you saw the 100 calorie of almonds. It was a mixed nut bag. We're just putting our hand in, and I can guarantee, because it's healthy, we just mindlessly eat. Adding some raisins to that, it's never ending. So you can, hopefully, you can all understand now how quickly it is to overeat those calories, which is what ultimately puts the weight on your body. Okay? I'm not going to tell you to work it off or get out and exercise, because you need to get to grips with what you're eating, how much is in the food that you're eating, and why you're eating it. Yeah?
I love granola, and sometimes I'll do like yogurt, and I'll put granola on the top, and I'll probably eat it when I get to work, because it fills me up, and that will last me all day.
Yep.
So that's the bit that I get really confused about.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's high in calories, but in essence I'll probably like skip lunch.
Yep.
So yeah.
So the questions that I'd get you to ask yourself. Now, I'm a natural faster. I don't feel hungry in the morning, which is why I said I won't go into that. I don't eat breakfast in the traditional sense. My first meal of the day is around about 11, 12 o'clock, depending on how hungry I feel. And I'll have a meal you'd probably eat in the evening. Yeah? So for me, it varies. Sometimes I might have porridge and a scoop of protein. Other days I need something more, so it'll probably be last night's curry or pasta or something else. Okay? It all comes down to the food that our body needs, which is protein, amino acids. Then you need fatty acids from the fats that we eat. And then you've got the vitamins and minerals. So if you can eat something in the morning, because you do like to eat breakfast, and that takes you all the way until your evening meal, it comes down to total calories. So you've probably had 500-600 calories, maybe even more. If you were to weigh it all out, how much yogurt are you putting in, how much granola has gone in there, 600 calories, work that out over the average of the day. How big's your evening meal? What are you putting together for your evening meal? How much is that? It varies, because we're all different. So I'm going to eat a lot more. Well, they say it's 2,000. So if I get you all to stand up, thank you. So we're all different heights, we're all different sizes. 2,000 calories for me would be too little. I would lose weight, because I need more because of what I do. 2,000 calories for Claire, because she's short, maybe too much. She'd probably put on weight. And it will be the same for each of you. Okay, so now if you all sit down, So that's why you've always got to take the general information with a pinch of salt, because it's just a guideline, okay? The best thing I would tell any of you, which is what I'm going to say today, is work out what you currently eat. So that means you're going to have to spend a little bit of time weighing out what you serve yourself, and be honest with yourselves. If you know you're eating 3-4 times the amount of that granola, make a note of it. Write down the teas, the coffees, the sugar, the milk, the ketchups, the mayo, all the little sauces that we don't think are anything but have actually got calories in. That is the only time I would ever get anybody to measure and track their calories, because it gives you an awareness. Okay, when you're aware of what you're eating, then you can have an average over a couple of days. Weekends are the worst, so if you are going to do it, do a middle of the week and then Saturday and Sunday. That will give you an average of what you eat over the week. If you divide it by the 4 days, times it by 7, and start from there. Because if that's what you're currently eating now, it could be really dangerous for you to just drop down to 2,000 calories if you're eating 3-4. One thing I will say is when you tend to just eat these foods, you don't get hungry. You'll feel full really quickly, so you probably won't even be able to finish what's on your plate. As an example, let me just grab it. That's 50 calories of broccoli. No one's eating that amount of broccoli on their plate. You probably have a couple of florets. Yeah, I weighed that out. That's 150 grams. If you take the same principle with potatoes, you won't eat a lot of potatoes because they're quite filling. But that doesn't mean eat endless amounts, because you've got to think, what are you adding to your potatoes for them to taste nice? Yeah, butter, frying them in fat, chips. And it's not to say don't eat those foods, but just have a little bit of awareness and say, this is 100 calories, this makes my meal 800 calories. You will be amazed at how much you're actually eating. Okay? Just going to hand out, because this brings me on to the next bit. So, I have a little leaflet.
Very much.
So some of you may already be familiar with this because you've worked with me. So 2 easy ways that we get, or I encourage people to create their meals, is using your hands as a guide to put a meal together. So protein would be the palm size of your hand. So it's probably 2 small chicken breasts or 1 big one if you go to Tesco's, get the big pack where it's pumped up. Yeah? Veggies, I always say 2 hands. Most people will say 1 open hand size of veggies, but I encourage people to try and fill up their plates, because then you're getting what you need and it fills you up. Fat, so this comes down to butter, olive oil, cheeses, nuts. You only want a small amount. If it's a liquid, it's going to be a tip of your thumb. It's not a lot at all, and if you measure your butter, it's not very big at all. Or, even easier, plate method. Portion out your plate, and plate sizes are bigger as well. So don't think you can just get a bigger plate. Alright, be sensible. On the second page, if you open it up, now if you take a look at this food list, this is one that I did for a lady last year, and she was in her 60s, and she had done Slimming World, and her daughter encouraged her, go and speak to me, sort it out. Now she's not into all the technology, so it was written down for her, and then she was given the meal plan that you see on the opposite page. So we wrote down together all the veggies that she likes, all the proteins that she likes to eat, carbs, which is under grains, then her snacks. Now if you look at that, there's quite a few tasty little things there. And then fruits that she would like to eat. Now this lady was somebody that would eat a whole packet of 6 sausages with mashed potatoes and loads of butter. She could still eat that. I just told her to eat 2 sausages, instead of the whole packet, and I asked her to eat slowly as well. Okay? Any questions on what you see there? Does that look easy for everybody? Yeah? You can all do this yourselves. Okay? So I do encourage you, when you get home, get a piece of paper, do exactly what you see there. It's an easy way then that you can start creating your meals and create yourself a meal plan. And then on the back there's just a blank page. Any questions from that section? Does it all make sense? Yeah, has it opened your eyes to what you may be eating and where you can bring it down a little bit?
I think that's a really good reality check.
Honestly, I was inspired by Secret Eaters. So I don't watch TV, but it's on Netflix. And I watched it just before Christmas and I was like, holy fucking shit. It even opened my eyes, and I'm not somebody that needs to be aware of my weight at the moment, but that was a massive eye-opener, and a lot of people were thinking, they'd start the show by saying, I eat about 1,500 calories, I eat healthy, I don't know why I'm putting on the weight, it must be the menopause, it must be because I'm not eating enough. Do you all kind of agree now that it comes down to how many calories you're eating?
I know I'm eating too much. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm only having 2,000. I know I'm eating too much. So, yeah. But that's still an eye-opener.
Yeah.
It's so easy done. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's the same with the wine as well. So I've got a little bottle there. None of us are buying little bottles from Tesco's, are we?
No one even really that normal size.
But again, as an eye-opener, just
No.
that's 140 calories just in that little bottle. I don't even want to pour it out. Not because I don't want to waste it, because I would drink it, but because it wouldn't be a lot. It wouldn't fill up that glass.
It's a small, isn't it? It's a small measure.
I think it's just over a small, but it's. I think a medium's 175, so that's just over because it's 187 mils. So they don't quite give you a large, but they give you a little bit more than a medium. But we're not drinking that. I know one lady that drinks bottles of Prosecco, and she knows that's her downfall. She's getting about 2,000 calories in Prosecco a week. No, it wasn't Joe.
I will say that's my downfall. A glass of wine,
Yeah. Just to wrap up this bit, I'm going to pass round a serving of rice.
Oh my God.
And a serving of pasta.
Oh my dear God.
See, I must admit, when I do
Now that pasta bag has got 300 calories in.
So when you buy it,
That's 300 calories.
and they put what the recommended allowances on the back of the packet, I normally do half of that. Is that about
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I do like a paella thing, and it says 325 whatever risotto rice.
The rice.
It's not about 200, 290, 200. Because it just seems, and
Too
even
much.
that's massive.
Yeah.
And you but that's what they recommend on the packet. So you kind of go.
So how many grams is that?
75 grams.
5 grams. It swells when it's
Yeah, it does swell, but it's still not a lot. So when you go to the nice Indian restaurants or a fancy place and they've got a little, that's your serving. It's not the trays that we now get from the takeaways. That's probably about three servings of rice. I'm having all one to myself. We all do it. It's there. We eat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to look a lot on your plate, is it?
No, it's not. But if you look at the food list, your carb portion is a fist size. It's a tennis ball, and it isn't a lot.
As though there's like 4 and 6 people in the house, and then I don't like waste, and then
Yep.
you, yeah.
It's to freeze portion.
Yeah. And when you freeze it, how many of you are going into the freezer to get it out and eat it? Yeah. Like we're all guilty of just pouring it in and just feeding the 5,000. And I don't know about everybody here, but I did grow up being told that if I don't finish my plate, there's kids starving in Africa. The kids are still starving in Africa. Right? it's one of those. And when it comes to children, they know when they're hungry, they know when they're full. We condition them to overeat, okay? Because we're probably even guilty, and I will put my hand up. You finish what's on your plate. I don't like wasting food, and I told my kids that for years. Eat everything that's on your plate, or you're not getting pudding. Everybody wants pudding. Yeah. And it is those little things that stay with us, and we still believe that we need to finish what's on our plate, and we tune out to our own natural instincts and hunger signals. We know when we're hungry, but sometimes we think we're hungry when it's just appetite. Now, if I was to pour everybody a cup of tea and opened up a packet of biscuits, you're probably not hungry, but you'd all want one, yeah? Because of your appetite. And it's just the way the brain works. It's like, oh, that's good, we want that. When you walk into Tesco's and you smell the bakery, then you think you're hungry, which is one reason they say don't go shopping on an empty stomach. Because things like that are done on purpose to trigger your appetite, so you buy the foods that you do not want but you are craving in that moment. Yeah? How's all that been for you so far? Just about food, calories, putting meals together, portions, servings. Yeah? Any questions?
So, the carbs for a fist, is it the whole of the fist?
Yeah.
So it's literally that.
If you can imagine a tennis ball, it'd be a tennis ball. If you've got a teacup at home, I don't know who does teacups, or a small coffee cup, we've all generally got big coffee cups, it'd probably fill about 3/4 of your coffee cup. All I will recommend is after today, measure out a serving, which is your 75 grams dry weight. If you were to weigh it after you cooked it, I think with pasta it's 170 grams cooked weight. You will see that it's still not as much as you would normally serve yourself. And it is a bit of a faff, so I do recommend weigh it, dry, cook it, and then just look in disappointment. But that does bring me nicely onto the second bit. So, how many of you, if you put your hands up, eat in front of the telly? How many of you eat at your desk at work? How many of you eat whilst you're on your phone or standing around? Okay, so a lot of you, everybody, is eating mindlessly. You're not paying attention to the food that you're eating. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. You're tuned out, okay? What that does is cause you to overeat. How many of you eaten some biscuits and then got to the end and thought, where the fuck are they all gone? No one? Everybody. Yeah, it's the same with the wine. You're pouring yourself wine, watching the telly, and then the bottle's empty. How many of you were tempted to open another bottle? Yeah? So, it is well researched. There is a science paper where they did an experiment of people in the cinema eating popcorn. The people that just had popcorn without a movie didn't eat all of it because it tastes shit. It's dry, it's stale. The people that were watching the movie ate 2/3 extra. Yeah, it's quite easy to keep eating when you're not paying attention, we're just going away. So one thing that I get clients to do is eat without distraction. It might seem really difficult, but you and your body deserve to do that, okay? You deserve to be connected to yourself and tune into the food that you're eating. There is something called mindful eating, and that's just where you're paying attention to the colours of the food on your plate, the textures, the smell, how it feels in your mouth, how it tastes, and eat slowly. Yeah? I know. And you did the Ignite last year, didn't you? So you had all these steps and processes, but it is really easy just to forget because we get pulled away with work, with the kids, with life. But all this isn't going to stick with you unless you constantly pay attention to what you're doing. And that's all mindfulness is. It's paying attention to the choices that you're making and the things that you're doing and saying. Is that making sense to you all? Yeah? So hopefully when you go home today, maybe you've got your roast dinner, You'll sit there, maybe at the dinner table, away from the TV, phones away, and have a mouthful, put your knife and fork down, chew it more than 3 times. Who's guilty of that? Chew, chew, swallow? Anyone? Yeah? So we want to be chewing our food. The old standard, I believe, was 30 times before you swallow. I'm like, I've got jaw ache. Yeah? But just try and chew your food until it's mushy. It's really hard when you've got sweets, I'll tell you that. It's just going down with lumps. But that's not good for your digestive system. Okay, so chew your food more than 3 times till it's all mushy. In between mouthfuls, put down your knife and fork and eat without distractions. Does that sound like something you can all do?
Certainly give it a go. It would be hard, yeah. I think
It is hard.
Put the knife and fork down. You might have me and sort of look at me going, what are you doing? You finished already? And you're just like, no, I'm thinking about what I'm doing, and they just laugh at me. I need that.
But then it's, if you're worrying about what other people are thinking and saying, does it really matter?
No.
Yeah, you could do. But why are you in so much of a hurry to finish your meal? And I do know a lot of people just eat at their desk. They don't give them times, or they don't give themselves the time to step away in their lunch break to eat their meal. They will sit there at the desk, carrying on working, and you're entitled to that lunch break. You are entitled to step away and enjoy time away from work, and you'll find you'll be more productive because of it. And the mindfulness stuff can be applied throughout everything that you do, even down to driving. Okay? Pay attention to why you're getting pissed off. Pay attention to why you want to eat the chocolate when you've not had your meal, or why you want to eat after you've just had dinner. Are you really hungry? Because 9 times out of 10 you just eat because you're so distracted and disconnected from yourself.
She always asks me, like, I want something sweet after.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So one thing I get people to think about is, you know, one question could be, when was the first time you had something sweet after eating your dinner? And it'll go back to childhood. Unless you finish what you eat and you're not allowed pudding. So it's just become a habit, and in our brains we need something sweet. But you can either wait it out, or you can be sensible with your meal. If you've weighed and measured everything and your meal's about 600 calories, because let's face it, if you had 3 meals a day, 600 calories each, it's 1800 calories a day. You've still got room to enjoy a chocolate bar and a packet of sweets. Maybe not a full packet of Haribo, small packets, guys. Yeah? But that's where, how many of you are having 600 calories a day in a meal? That would seem like a lot for a lot of people. Because the belief is, I can't eat that much food, I'm going to get fat. It's not the food that's making you fat, it's how many calories you're eating. So if you had 3 balanced meals and each one had 500-600 calories, you'll be telling yourself that's a lot. But if you can remind yourself over the day that's 1,800 calories, is that really a lot? You'll feel better for it. You'll probably have more energy. You won't have that crash in the afternoon because your body's getting the energy and the nutrients that it needs to keep functioning. What tends to happen is we limit our calories throughout the day. We get tired from the afternoon. We try and push through. We grab a chocolate bar, load ourselves up with caffeine and sugar, then punish ourselves with exercise because, oh my god, you ate a biscuit in the afternoon and a chocolate bar. Now you have to go and burn it off. And it just creates this vicious cycle of eating and feeling guilty and wanting to punish yourself when you don't need to do that. Yeah? If any of you got any questions on all this part, do you want to have a little look on? No? Anybody need the toilet before the next part? No? I am here to answer any questions, so if something does come into your head, just let me know. I'll just rub this off. Right. Again, I purposely didn't do pictures and presentations because it just doesn't work. It doesn't stay in your head, and I'm not here to kind of educate you. I'm here to give you useful tips and tools that you can put into practice so you can start getting the results that you want. Okay. How many of you track your menstrual cycle? I know a lot of people said that they didn't in the form. Yeah, not many. Going through perimenopause, you never tracked. Postmenopause, yeah. HRT, anybody taking it? Yep. Okay, I am as well. I started early, was told too young. So I was 34 when I started having hot sweats and flashes. Thought it was normal because my mum had it. Hormones, whatever, it was ignored. Lockdown, so I'm 44 now. Lockdown happened, started getting really itchy armpits. Knew there was something going on. Started to research, understood the perimenopause, and kind of like, yes, but I was ignored until last year. Too young, okay? Now, I've tracked my menstrual cycle since 2011 for no other reason than knowing where I was and why I might be feeling moody and wanting to snap people's heads off, okay? I'm also somebody that has gone through a lot of stress in my life, which causes more chaos in the body, okay? A lot of women will think the menopause is the reason that they're gaining weight, and that's not true. Okay, hopefully, from the bit that we've just spoke about, you all agree it's calories. Calories is why we're putting on weight, but there'll be reasons why we're eating more calories than we need. Two things tend to happen in life. We run on stress. We don't know anything else other than chaos and feeling anxious, trying to keep up with work, trying to keep up with the demands of keeping partners happy, kids happy, sorting shit out. Yeah? When we're constantly running on stress, our brain is in chaos, okay? You're going to experience things like brain fog, tiredness, constant fatigue throughout the day where you just cannot sleep enough, okay? You're going to have more cravings. All those sound kind of familiar for people? Yeah? Then what happens is your menstrual cycle becomes dysregulated, so you may start suffering with heavy periods, clotting, bits like that, all the nice stuff. Ben's like, yeah, but it's because of what our body's going through, and it's all down to our central nervous system. It's always in a state of fight or flight. Does that ring a bell for everybody? You all understand what I'm doing and saying, yeah? We just keep going, and we don't know when to slow down or stop, and if you do slow down or stop, you feel guilty and feel like you should be doing something. Does that sound fair? Yeah? So, two things that happen, and it is all because of stress, but that's because of your life that you live in. Yeah? Now, stress can be good or bad. So I'm just going to put stress, life, okay? Stress is going to happen. There's always something that happens in life. Yeah, you have a good role, and then you get a flat, or you have a crash, or the kids are ill, or something's going on at work, or you've had an argument, and you just keep trying to function. You keep trying to keep going. What that does is increase cortisol, which is a stress hormone, okay? Anybody that suffers with anxiety will also have an increase in what we call adrenaline. So I had a lovely little spike this morning before this talk. My belly goes a little bit funny. I feel like I'm going to have the runs. Constantly feel like I need to go to the toilet. My heart gets faster. I feel a bit more sweaty. And I talk really, really fast. I'm not doing that right now because I feel comfortable. I'm in control, okay? Now what tends to happen when these two spike, you all heard of insulin? Yeah, you all know what it does? Okay. Well, that little fucker gets pumped out as well. Do you all know the purpose of insulin? Doesn't matter if you don't. Again, a lot of people don't. Yeah. So insulin is pumped out into the body and it increases your blood sugar level. Okay? And I want you to try and relax. So if you're feeling quite tense, drop your shoulders. Okay? Now I want you to close your eyes. And you're all going to hear the whirring fan and obviously my voice. But I want you to take a nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth as slow as you can. And I want you to do that 2 more times. Okay. How are you all feeling right now? Okay. Now I want to do something else. So I want you to stand up. Just make sure you've got enough room if you're behind a chair. So I want you to run on the spot as fast as you can. So I just want you to literally just jog the feet. Keep going really, really fast. Keep going. Breathe fast and short. Now I want you to stop. Whose heart's beating really fast? Okay, what I want you to do, take that nice deep breath in. Hold it for a second. You'll feel your heart's really beating. Exhale, slow and loud. Do that one more time. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, slow, hard, long. Just take a seat. Who found a benefit from the breathing after the running? Yeah? What tends to happen when a lot of us are dealing with shit in life, and as I said, I know some of you, I know there's a lot going on, it's always going to happen. There is a way you can not get carried away and let all this rule your life. The breathing is one way you can do that. It's always at your disposal, and it helps down-regulate the stress response. Okay? So in terms of your central nervous system, there's 2. There's fight and flight, and then there's rest and digest. Yeah, it's the calm. That's what we want. So before you're eating, take a deep breath. If you're worrying about somebody's going to moan because you're taking your time eating the meal because you deserve to, take a deep breath, because that problem is theirs, not yours. Yeah? Do it if you feel like you want to slap somebody too. Yeah, take a deep breath. It is the fastest way you can take back control. Any questions on this bit so far? No? So, brings me on to menstrual cycle, menopause, and it is going to affect every single woman here if it hasn't already. There's a point in our menstrual cycle when we're going to feel more agitated because of the fluctuations in those hormones, okay? That has an effect on our brain. That's why some of us experience more anxiety, more PMS symptoms. We may feel depressed, and some people go through that cycle month on month, okay? We can have normal PMS where we just feel a little bit shit, more angry, and then there's people that can suffer with PMDD, which is where they have moments throughout the month, every single month, where they feel really depressed, maybe suicidal, not like themselves. And then we hit perimenopause, and it's like you're a teenager again, and how you felt when you were 16, it all comes flooding back, changes in your periods, and it's confusing. So when we're having to deal with all those changes, our brain's super sensitive to those fluctuations in hormones, we're going to have more of this going on. Because when we're feeling anxious or depressed, the last thing we want to do is eat some chicken and broccoli and potatoes. Yeah, because you just don't feel like yourself. Going back to the mindfulness stuff, if you can keep a track of your cycle, you can become aware of how you're feeling and the moods, And it could be simple things like you're just not feeling like yourself, you're not feeling happy, you're feeling more tired, you've got backache, you've got more wind, you've got more belly troubles, because it is a never-ending cycle. When we've got all these hormones pumping through our body, it has a massive impact on our gut, on our brain, on us. Yeah? Any of you deal with IBS symptoms and bits like that? Okay, so again, major impact is because of stress. When we're stressed and we're eating, our body isn't able to digest effectively because we're not actually giving it a chance to. Okay? When you're menopausal as well, the changes in the gut lining because of the hormones mean we are more likely to experience more food sensitivities, intolerances, more bloating, more gas. Then it comes down to how well are you chewing your food and eating. Now we do have a poo nurse here. What is your professional title, Jo?
Clinical nurse specialist.
Okay. Yeah. So she deals with a lot of patients with stoma bags, and I don't know if you're all aware of this, but there are more people actually having surgeries with bowel removals and having stoma bags put in. Okay? A lot of that can be stopped if you pay attention to the food that you're eating. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jo. How you eat your food and just paying attention to your body. If we can control the stress and eat in a more calm way, where you're not rushing through, you're not rushing to get back to work, you're not rushing the meal because the kids are playing up, you're not distracted, you're chewing your food properly, you're giving your body a chance to actually break down the food even easier to distribute the nutrients, and you're not going to get the blockages. And again, it comes down to the foods that you're eating. If you know you get some symptoms from certain foods, ask yourself why you're eating those foods still. Yeah? Is that spot on, Jo? Yeah? Any questions from that bit so far? No? Okay, so we're all doing good then, yeah? This is pretty easy. Right. So, last bit. I'm just going to rub that out. So, I've already touched on these two things throughout the day, beliefs and mindset. Okay? Beliefs go back to you being a child. You growing up in a world where you had to be size fucking 0. You had to be a number on the scales. Yeah? How many of you got a belief that the number in the clothes determine how good you are as a person? Yeah? How many of you have stood on the scales and it's actually turned your day to shit just because of what the number said?
Yep.
Yeah? One thing I like to get people to do is ask yourselves deeper, what are you making that mean about yourself? Because weight is just a number. Sizes in clothes vary from shop to shop. Yeah? And when we break it down to, okay, so today you weigh 74 kilos on the scales, but last week you were 72. Where are you in your cycle? What's going on in your life? The things that we were talking about before all increase weight in the body just through inflammation, because of the stress response, because of the food you then choose to eat. That then creates water retention. And again, anybody that goes through a monthly cycle, we all put on a bit of weight that week. It's normal. We've got more blood flow in the body. Our uterus is going to shed. I looked at Ben there, but he's not paying attention. Yeah? And then it's the food that we eat. We naturally become more hungry because our body needs a little bit of extra food, because one, it thinks it might be having a baby, and two, then it's got to get rid of stuff. Okay? So when it comes down to the beliefs and the things that we tell ourselves, they're all lies. Every single one of them. Every thought you have in your head, unless you're somebody that's going, I'm fucking amazing. Yeah. They're all going to be lies. Nothing on the scales determines who you are as a person. and what the rest of the day entails for you. Only you can do that. If you make yourself believe that the number is everything, you're going to make choices that align with that. So if you wake up and you step on the scales or you can't get into your outfit, how does that then determine what you do next? How does that influence how much food or the foods that you do eat? Feel shit, eat shit. Yeah? At the end of a stressful week, open up a bottle because it helps you relax, it helps you switch off. All these things come down to the beliefs and the habits and the behaviours that you've just developed over time. Because at one point it would have been alright at the end of the working week, pop to the pub, have a couple of pints with your mates, maybe make it last all night, do it again Saturday. We could get away with that. Yeah? Now we get carried away with life. It's end of the week, it's Friday, going to open a bottle, going to get takeaway, can't be bothered to cook. Yeah? And these two things are kind of linked, and I've touched on it throughout because you are in charge of how you think and feel and what you do next and the choices that you make. If you're feeling shit because you've told yourself the numbers or the clothes size that you've got mean something, or your boss is pissed off because of something that's happened at work, or your partner's in a mood, are you at fault for any of those? Is any of that your responsibility? Are you responsible for making other people happy? No, but it's really hard for us to focus on ourselves because I don't speak for everybody, but I grew up being told that as the mum, as the mother, you do everything. It's your job to make sure the kids are happy. Fuck me, if I went out, I'd feel guilty as hell. When I started going to the gym, I'd feel guilty, so I ended up doing it before the school run. It's good for you. Yeah, it's good to do things that you want to do, and it's not selfish.
It's hard to tell yourself that.
It is really hard, but then it comes down to why, because if you look at the people around you or the people that you live with, are they doing what they want? Are they thinking about what you need and how you're feeling? You know, and this is something that I am really passionate about. One, because I've got two older children, a 24-year-old, 21-year-old, having really shit relationships, and trying to get them to put themselves first and their happiness ahead of everybody else, ahead of them thinking, but he's good sometimes, or yeah, she's not like that all the time. I'm like, but this is constant, and it's negative, shitty behaviours, and they're both responsible for it. And I talked to them because I was also guilty of doing that. I stayed in relationships that were really fucking unhealthy. Domestic abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, because they were nice sometimes, you know. They looked after me, they paid the bills. I was fortunate to be a stay-at-home mum. Didn't fucking like it. I lost my freedom trying to make somebody else happy, trying to see the good in them, scared shitless if I did something wrong, if the house wasn't clean. You know, it happens. And that came down to my own boundaries and beliefs of myself, because I believed that I had to just do all this, that I had to keep him happy, and it was my job. But it's not. And the same happens when you're at work. It's not your job to keep the place running unless it's your business. Yeah? Bit of a negative note there, I know, but you do have the ability to work on this in great detail. And it is uncomfortable to tap into those kind of behaviours and the way that you constantly self-sabotage and the things that you do in order to keep people happy and keep showing up at work when you're miserable, because of the financial security, because you're scared of what will happen next. But the one question I will ask, and I will always ask my clients, is, but how are you feeling about it? If you're not happy, why are you doing it? What can you do to change it? It comes down to communication and really understanding what your values are as a person, how you want to look and feel, and what you want to do in life. Because you're the only person that can actually do that. Yeah?
Just thinking we've had conversations and that, it's so easy to say this to someone else, but it's just so difficult to
Yeah.
go, oh, we can't
Yeah, of course
have
it
that
is.
conversation.
with yourself, but I'm very good at saying, oh, you should do this. Why would you
Yeah.
do that? Be
Yeah.
confident, do this, do that, and then you actually
Yeah.
go, why am I not doing that for me?
And we all are, but the one question that I would ask is, why don't you believe you're worth it? And it's an emotional question, you know, and I really don't want to open up a can of worms here, but these are just really fundamental things that we gloss over because we're not told to think about ourselves. We're told it's selfish to put yourself first. How many of you heard the phrase or been told the world doesn't revolve around you?
Yeah.
Yeah? But it does. Like, ultimately it does, because this is you, this is your world. You're not here to serve other people and make other people happy. You're here to guide and support, love, share kindness, have compassion for other people, because you don't know what people are going through. This is the whole be kind movement, you know. My ex was an arsehole. Absolute fucking dickhead, cruel man. Yeah? No, he was. Proven by the courts. But I understand his pain, I understand why he does what he does. So I move on with my life. But it took me 12 years to do that. You know, we're scared to stand up and say what we really think and feel because we don't want to upset someone. We don't want to lose the person that we love. They're not always bad, you know. I want you to say the same about yourselves. The number on the scale, it's not that bad, it's just a number. If I was to eat the 150 grams of broccoli, I'd put on 150 grams on the scale. Add in the 186 milligram mils of wine, there's 186 grams on the scales. Everything we do has some weight to it. And it isn't about shrinking, it's just about being comfortable with how we look and feel and being in control of the choices that we make and not letting everybody else have a say or an opinion, which then makes us go and scoff the Easter eggs because they're out on the shelves now. That's why they're there. I was like, perfect. You know, the pack of 3, we're all going to eat it. You know, 1, 2, 3, it's done. And that's 600 calories just inhaled because the scales told you a number. Yeah? So, any questions on beliefs and mindset? I really don't want to go too deep with that because I do know how emotional it can get for people. No? No questions there? Yeah?
No, I think that's just, I know that's the one I need to work on.
It's a hard one, but it's every day. And one thing that that's all right, Lily. One thing that I would ask people to do, and it's one thing that you can do, is get some pieces of paper and just write down all the lies that you tell yourself. So I encourage my clients to do journaling. It's just get a blank diary and just write all your thoughts and feelings in it. No one's to read it. It doesn't need to be neat. But when you can actually get out all your thoughts and feelings, they're not in your head. But sometimes if you were to write down on a piece of paper every single lie, aka thought, you'll quickly learn which ones are true, because most of them aren't. Yeah? So it comes down to being worthy, being loved, good enough. Anybody got any more? It'll be an endless list. You know, you were wrong.
Can I just say, probably a lot of you sat here today are thinking, well, I haven't got time to write stuff down, or I'm too busy, what's the point? And I've worked with Dina for a long time, and I was exactly the same. I would resist that, because I would think, well, what's the point? But in my own experience, just taking time to sit and write shit down has been life-changing for me. And once you start, you'll find that you won't be able to stop. Yeah. So I would say just give it a go,
We're
because
all guilty of being on our
for
phones
me,
too long, aren't we? So
it's
don't know.
really, really helped me. It's been life-changing. But for years, Dean would ask me to do it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I'll have to think about it. But one day I did just stop and start, and I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop writing. So much stuff came out from like childhood, and it really helped me to understand why I am like I am and work on those things.
It does come down to a lot of, like Joe said, a lot of it is coming down to what you were told when you were growing up, or what ex-partners have said, or what your friends have said, and the disagreements and the fallouts that we've had, and we hold on to those, you know, and it's normal because we all want to feel connected with other people, and a lot of the times our own anxiety and how we feel is because of our own actions and beliefs and the lies that we tell ourselves, because we're catastrophizing everything. We're already judging ourselves before we stepped out the door. You're probably overthinking things and planning out how your day is going to go and what you're going to do if you get to work, and your colleague says this because things have been, you know, it's all these little things that you constantly play over in your head, and it creates stress. Whether you want it or not, it is increasing the cortisol, the adrenaline in your body, because you're constantly going to feel anxious. Sue pointed out a good thing about being on your phone, and it comes down to distraction. And if you've ever watched I can't remember the guy's name, it's just gone out of my head, good old menopause. Is it Steve Jobs? iPhone, Apple?
Yeah.
So he was the creator of it, and he wouldn't even let his own kids have it, because it's just a distraction tool, and when you get into it, it's nothing but negativity. You know, even the local notice boards. I know a lot of people that just call it the busybody board. Somebody's always moaning on there about something, and the question that goes through my head is, wow, they really don't have anyone to talk to.
They're moaning about people moaning now, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, but it is one of those things. It's like, if you have to put yourself out on social media to complain about something, or the old, oh my god, my, like, you know, shit's never going right, and it's inbox me, hun. Like, look at the other side. These people have got no one to talk to, and yet we're all on there scrolling through Instagram, comparing ourselves to everybody else. Even I'm guilty of it. As a business owner and somebody that really wants to help people, I look at other people doing it and I'm like, oh, they're already doing it, I won't do it. Or I'm not good enough to be out on there, but I keep showing up. And then Facebook, it's like, does anybody see it? Does anybody really care? It's like, you know, I've got people I can talk to. If I've got a problem, Facebook's not the first place that I go to. Unfortunately, it's my partner, and he gets a right earful. But it's like, I don't shut up. But a lot of us don't have that, and that is one of the other things, you know, not being social with people, not having that connection, not feeling like you belong, has a massive impact, because it makes us isolate, and when we isolate, we create more problems. And then we eat and we do things for comfort, and it's always food or alcohol. And again, back to the hormones, it does light up our brains. It gives us a dopamine response, which is our pleasure and reward system. So we constantly seek more, and the phones are designed to do that. You ever get a notification from some random, Facebook's just popped up notifications, and you look and it's, I don't even know that person. Yeah? Because they want you to be on the phones. Stay off it. But the world is designed to keep you distracted. You know, and sometimes I say all this and I feel like I'm going down a hippie route, but I'm not. It's...
Yeah, I don't need any more trainers.
But it is, between the sponsored adverts and the notifications and all the drama, they want you to be on your phones, they want you to be disconnected. It's the same as Netflix. You know, how many hours are you actually spending searching for stuff to watch, watching stuff? Because I could be there for an hour before I've chosen something. An hour of my day is wasted trying to find something. And then we sit there and watch.
Something you agree on.
Half the time I don't care, because I'm not paying attention anyway. It's just there to help me down-regulate. because my brain is something that is constantly on the go. I'm thinking about tomorrow, what to do, have all these great ideas. So for me, it is to dumb me out so I can get ready for bed. Yeah. Any questions to wrap up this morning? One thing I did want to just quickly cover, because it was put in the form, was healthy at any size. I am anti body positivity because I think it gives the wrong message, but that's not to say you are unhealthy or you can't be a bigger person, because we are all different sizes. Okay, ultimately it comes down to how do you feel about yourself. And my problem with body positivity was that the message got put out wrong. Okay, body positivity is something for you to feel comfortable about yourself, not for the world to accept you as you are. Yeah, because we can all be overweight, we can all be a little bit taller, we all have cellulite, we all have rolls, we all just look different. Yeah, we're never all going to be the same size. So for me, body positivity in that term is for you to accept yourself, for you to feel good about how you look and how you feel, and it's to be confident as who you are as a person. Healthy at any size, and I think that is going to be pushed out a little bit more. Yes, you can be healthy at any size. Absolutely you can. You could be somebody who's 60% body fat, coming to the gym, doing daily walks. You are doing healthy things. Think about it the other way. Are the actions that you're taking getting you closer to where you want to be? Or are they pulling you further away? In terms of body fat percentage and what somebody looks like, we're all going to look different. So if I have 30% body fat, that's going to look different on Claire if she's 30% body fat. Okay? A healthy body fat percentage is about 40% for women. Okay? It's not as skinny as people think. And to be below 18% is actually unhealthy. So there's no right or wrong. There's no kind of ideal that we all need to fit into. It's, are we doing the best to make ourselves healthy? And that's not just the food we eat. It's not just how we look. It's not the clothes size that we wear. It's, are we in control, or are we constantly doing things that distract us and pull us further away? So you can think of it as two roads. You can go left and keep eating all the biscuits and the chocolates and watching the Netflix and scrolling on your phone and being completely disconnected from everything. Or you can turn right and eat balanced meals, enjoy some chocolate, enjoy some wine, switch off in a better way than just scrolling on your phone. And you can say, I'm going to enjoy the wine because it helps me relax at the end of the week. And that's okay, because you've got awareness of why you're doing it. And then it's just meeting things in the middle. And for me, that's what balance is all about. And that's healthy, because I'm not someone that just eats plates of broccoli. I eat all the things that are on the little table, and I don't eat 100 calories of it either. Yeah? So it's all the little things that we do that make us happy and make us feel comfortable and get us to where we want to be. How's that been for everybody?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, zigzagging across the brain.
Yeah, but that's going to be life, and even when in terms of weight loss, it's never going to be a straight line down. It's always going to fluctuate, but eventually you'll get to where you want to be. But your weight doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the body shape and size that you want to be. So sometimes it's learn to let go of the weight or the number, and learn to be comfortable with how you look and feel. And it's building strength, not just physically but mentally as well. And hopefully the things that I've spoke about today, especially the breathing, the quickest tool for you to get back control and bring down your central nervous system so you can eat in a way where you can digest in a healthier way and get some benefits from it, is to breathe. Yeah? Any questions from there? I think that wraps it up nicely. We've moved through pretty quick. Yeah? There is that as well, but this is why it's good to write down a list, and it's the same with shopping. If you plan out your meals, and again, I learned the 6 Ps a long time ago. Piss poor performance and prior preparation, all that stuff. So if you fail to plan and prepare, piss poor planning, okay, there you go. So it's just if you plan out your meals and you know what you're going to have for the week, and you just go and buy that. If you want anything else, you've got to go out and get it. Yeah? Awesome. And lift weights, ladies, honestly. Especially as we get older. It doesn't get you big and bulky, I'm still trying. 12 years of trying and it's not working. But again, the only thing that gets us big is the calories. Yeah? Thank you, ladies. If any of you have got any questions or you want to speak to me after, that's absolutely fine. I do have some special offers. One is the 28-day shred, which is just 4 weeks putting you through videos and more educational deep dives of all this so you can start planning, being more aware, having more control. So that's on offer for £99, or you could consider working with me longer term. But that dives more into the therapy side, your beliefs and your mindset, and it does get quite emotional.
It just doesn't let you get away with it.
I don't. But it does help you. So again, purpose of today was just to give you all an insight. So I do recommend you take a photo of the 100 Calorie Club. But yeah, if you've got any questions after, reach out to me, and I will send this through email, but if you can just do a little feedback, that would be great. Just basic questions, so I'll pop that there so you can scan it and then it will take you to the form. But yeah, I think that's all for today, ladies. Thank you very much. Hopefully you've really got something from it.
You can have your food
Oh no,
back.
even I was depressed. I walked in and I was like, babe, I said, that's a serving of pasta, 300 calories. He was like, what? Honestly, it's disappointing. We probably have, well, here it's about 3 times that amount, so that's 900 calories. I was just like, wow.
But it's when sometimes you just bulk it out to make it go further, but then you end up eating more than you.
But this is where the bowls have got bigger as well. So if you were to put that in a bowl, there's hardly anything there.
Yeah.
But trust me, when I do say like eat slowly, you'll be surprised at how full you get. Thank you, ladies.